Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Cool Colas here, bringing you the hustler's perspective. Hope everybody is having a great day today, and I'm hoping everybody got a chance to get outside and enjoy some of this summer weather. If you're here in the Midwest, Michigan specifically, then you'll see that it was kind of it was a little hotter outside, which is like pretty cool because usually in Michigan you just don't know what to expect with the weather. But anyways, I kind of wanted to get into the topic for today, but before we do that, I just wanted to see if you all noticed, like, I got a haircut, I got a taper here on the side of my head as well too. So I got the hair, the wild hair, shaved down a little bit. So guess you got to see a new look from me. But anyways, getting back to the topic on hand today, I want to talk to you all about the 6 grocery hacks that can help you save money. Now, I know a lot of you all are probably looking at this video and you're thinking, cool colas, how in the heck does saving groceries or saving money on groceries have anything to do with hustling? Now, if you all have been paying attention to a lot of my videos, what I've been saying is your hustle and being a hustler or being a wealthy person is not based on how much money you make. It's not based on making money specifically, but it's based on ratios. In other words, it's based on how much money you're able to keep. In other words, if you are buying groceries, which everybody does, they buy groceries in order to eat. You have to eat to live. Then you're going to be spending a pretty penny per month. Per month, I think on average, I spend maybe like $200 on groceries, or somewhere around there, give or take. But anyway, so I feel as though if you're going to spend money on groceries, like, you have a set number in mind in your repertoire, more so to say, of how much you're going to spend. So why not try to take extra measures to see, if you can save money on the groceries that you're going to spend money on. So let's kind of take a look here at some of the things that I came up with. So when you're buying groceries, a lot of times you find yourself buying the things that you need, and then sometimes you find yourself buying some things that just happens to look good, or you see the new snack item, or you see something that's you're like, whoa, like, I gotta try this. This is new thing, or this is the new strawberry flavored whatever, or the new cherry flavored whatever. So I mean, I feel like a lot of people kind of get caught up in that, especially when they grocery shop and they end up spending a lot more money than intended. Now, if you're a health nut, this probably doesn't apply to you, but this still could be helpful to you because you can learn how to save some money on groceries. But let's take a look at it. Sorry, my nose itches a little bit here, but anyways, so I think it's my allergies. But anyway, so going back, so let's talk about the first way that you can save some money on groceries so that you're not paying so much each month. The first thing and the first hack that I look to is knowing the difference in buying the store brand products versus buying name brand products. So for example, if you go into like a Walmart, that's your like great value. If you go in there to Meijer, it's like your Meijer brand. If you go into Target, it's your Market Pantry brand. Those are like usually your store brand products versus like your like name brand products, like you get macaroni, you get Kraft, or things like that, or you get the like, I don't know, like the golden graham crackers versus like the great value crackers, or honey made, or whatever it's called. Anyways, so I guess my point here is to focus on the products that are not name brand. So for example, I'll just tell you something about me, and then I'll tell you kind of like what I mean by example. So I have this thing where I have to have Lorry seasoned salt if I have to have seasoned salt for my food. Now, mind you, seasoned salt is really probably not all that good for you, but it does make your food taste good. It makes, like, if you're making chicken or you're making steak or something like that, then you're gonna want seasoned salt on it because it's got to have a flavor and it's got to have a certain taste. So for me personally, I can only have Lawry's brand. Any other brand just doesn't taste that great to me. So that's, I guess, what I mean. But anyway, so that's kind of like one of those things where it's like, self-conscious for me. But personally, in other cases, because to me they taste that tastes different than other brands. In other cases, for things, they taste very similar. So there could be an item that you could get, like I don't know, maybe like sugar or something like that, or even bottles of water. You may see like Aquafina, and then you may see the Great Value brands, and like the Great Value brands are like more like inexpensive. I mean, mind you, I don't buy bottles of water because I feel like that's an expense that you don't need to buy either, because you can just get your own water either from a filter or whatever method that you have where you try to get your purified water. But anyway, so for like your store brand products, a lot of times they're going to be more inexpensive than your actual name brand products, and a lot of times they're between 30 to 40 cents more expensive if you're buying the name brand. So think about it. A lot of people are probably sitting there and they're saying, oh, well, that's not a lot, that's 30 cents, that's 40 cents. But the reality of the situation is, you are really going to be paying out a lot of money after that adds up. So let's say that you buy 100 items and all of them cost $1. That means you're going to be paying $100. Now let's assume that that's the name brand product. So let's assume that that's your craft, for example. Let's say that the Great Value version of that craft that you could have had is 30 cents less or 40 cents less. So let's assume it's 40 cents less. So let's assume that every item that you had that was Great Value instead of craft was 60 cents. And let's say you bought 100 of them. That's $60. So if you take 100, which is your name brand stuff that I was telling you about, and then your 60, which is your store brand stuff, if you like take those two and you put it into a subtraction problem, you realize that you save $40 by buying all of these store brand products versus the name brand products. So that's one way to save money right there. It's kind of a mental trick. You believe that a lot of the things that you're buying that are like name brands, that are popular brands that you see all the time, you believe that they taste different psychologically, and a lot of them don't. There's some that do, but a lot of them don't. And then on top of that too, like, you're spending a lot more money, and then because you're buying groceries, you're going to be buying a heck of a lot of items that are going to be more in price than you would if you were going to buy, like I said, a store brand versus a name brand. So again, like, think about it in terms of, if you're buying 100 of them, you're going to end up spending an extra $40 just because of a label, and you don't want to do that. So let's talk about the second thing. So the next thing I have is talking about apps, having apps that can help you get coupons. Now, I got a list of some of the apps that can give you like really good deals and really good promotions, like if you use them, if you go into stores and you want certain items. So what I got here is Grocery IQ, Ibotta. I don't know if you ever heard of that, and I've heard great things about Ibotta. I read one review of someone saying they saved $2 to $5 a week on groceries, and I guess it's assuming they buy groceries every week, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, anyways, my point is that if that's the case, if they were doing that monthly, they would probably be saving, anywhere between 10 to maybe not 10, $8 to $20. So that's just something to kind of think about. Check out 51 is another app that you all can check out as well too. Walmart Savings Catcher, Ebates, and Saving Star. So those are all good apps. And an app specifically that I used to like to use, which is not really a coupon app but kind of helps you get some money back, it was called Shopkick. What Shopkick does is you can go on the app, and then it'll have a list of stores. You click on the store or whatever store you're going to, and it has a list of items that you can scan, and you'll scan the barcode, and you get points every time you scan that item. Now what happens is, after you get a certain amount of points, they give you like this store where you can buy whatever item or whatever prizes they have in your store based off of the points that you've accumulated. So for example, let's say you accumulated 5,000 points, And let's say that you go to your store, like there could be a reward that says, and this is something that I had. I don't remember if it was 5,000 points or if it was like 75 or 7,500 points, but I remember there was one time where I got a Walmart gift card, and the Walmart gift card was worth like $30 or $40, and it was based off of getting all of those points. So that's the way to like get money back, and a lot of money back from not even spending money, but like being in a grocery store and simply scanning things over and over and over again. That is free money right there to pay for some of your groceries. So just keep those things in mind. There are apps out there that help you get money back from doing grocery shopping. So that's another hack. Let's talk about the third one that is important for helping you save money. Make a list. Now, I know you're sitting there thinking, how in the heck is that a hack? That's something that you should be doing anyway. You won't believe the number of people who will not make a grocery list before they go to the grocery store. The thing about groceries is you know what you need, and you know what you need to have in your refrigerator that is a basic food necessity for yourself. Well, not necessity, but it's more of a preference. Anyways, my point is that when you make a grocery list, you are basically reminding yourself, hey, these are the items I need to get, and only the items I need to get. But what tends to happen is when you don't make a grocery list, you tend to pick up things and buy things that you don't really need for real. So maybe on your grocery list you have bananas, and then lettuce, and then mushrooms, and then you need to buy some chicken, like a packet of chicken, or maybe you need to buy a beef roll, and then like that's on your list, or that was potentially what was going to be on your list. This is assuming that you didn't make one. And then you go to the grocery store, and then you see something that says, for example, sushi rolls with hints of ginger next to them, and then you think that it's at a good price, and you're like, oh, I want that. Oh, I love sushi. I gotta have that. Or you see something new, like you see like some, I don't know, strawberry Pop Tarts, or not strawberry. You see some like wild berry Pop Tarts or something like that, limited edition, or orange soda. I think that's one I saw recently, orange soda Pop Tarts. And then you're like, ooh, I want to try that because that looks pretty good. And I mean, like, it's normal to like feel that way, because grocery stores are designed to have those items so that you're like, wow, like I've never seen that before, it's new, I've got to try that. And I know, like, just growing up in my household, my mom and I were like big people who were into that type of stuff. Like, we would go to the stores and we would see something new, we were like, ooh, let's try that, that looks cool. So making a list avoids you from spending extra money on those things, because those are the things that you don't want to buy, because really you don't need them, and subconsciously you know you don't need them, but when you don't make a list, you're not reminding yourself that you don't. So that's another way to save money, because you could walk out of there and like your list could have I guess shown you that you may have only been paying $160, and you end up paying $200 anyway, because again, you bought that sushi, you bought those Pop Tarts, you bought you a bag of a big old bag of popcorn. Like you just did all this stuff that you just didn't plan to do before. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Make a list, and it stops you also from not or it stops you from wasting valuable time. Because a lot of times the grocery stores, again, are designed to keep you in there for a while, because they're designed to have you look around and possibly buy stuff. And remember, the whole theme of this thing is that time is money. So that's something that you always want to keep in mind. Time is money. When you have a list, you have a set schedule of what you're supposed to get. And really, this is why I like being a ship shopper, and that's like a side hustle of mine. As a ship shopper, you have a set schedule of what you're supposed to pick up for these orders that you get, and then you go and you get the stuff and you deliver them to the people who are purchasing these orders, and then you get paid based off of the stuff that you were given and that you give the customer and the time that it took you to do it. So like that's why shipped is always reminds me personally that if I'm doing my own groceries, I need to make a list, because I have to stay on schedule and I have a certain time limit. And the way that you treat your ship customers is the way that you should be treating, your own groceries and things like that, because you want to stay on track and you don't want to spend more money, because it will hit you. It will hit your pockets pretty tough. So that's another thing. Now, let's talk about the next point. So point number 4 here: do not buy prepared foods. First of all, that's lazy. And here's why that's lazy: because you can take those foods and you can prepare them yourself. You don't need somebody to chop your onions up or chop your celery up, or pre-cook your chicken and freeze it, or get some like some of that pre-cooked shrimp, and then like they take it and they freeze it for you, and the flavor doesn't stick anyway. So I don't even know why people would buy that. But anyways, so I the reason why I say like you don't need to buy prepared foods is because of convenience. Like that's what you're paying for, is convenience, so that you don't really have to do it, so that it's prepackaged for you. You know, you really could be doing that yourself and using your own energy, which is not really a lot to get it ready, because at the end of the day, even the prepared foods that are frozen, you're still in some way preparing them. Like you're still like heating them up or unthawing them or whatever it is that you're doing with them. But the thing about like non-prepared foods is, I mean, you're gonna have to do that anyway, and you're gonna pay in some cases a little less, in some cases a lot less, because I've seen some like prepared foods that were pretty pricey. Like I think one time, and mind you, I'm not saying that I like get my produce or meats or shellfish, I guess in this case, from Walmart, but I'm just giving you an example. I saw that raw shrimp were somewhere around like $4 like in the store, and then the cooked shrimp were like almost $5 or $6 for the same size, same bag, everything, like same amount of shrimp in the bag. It was, and that was just from it being prepared like already and frozen versus it being raw. So again, like don't like spend money on convenience. Don't be lazy. Just get the food and prepare it yourself. That's it. So let's talk about the 5th point: buying only grocery items. Now, what I mean by that is you've heard of the dollar store. You've heard of like little convenience stores, little CVS like stores. And those places a lot of times have good deals on like toiletries, like toilet paper and like toothbrushes and toothpaste and things like that, especially the dollar store. A dollar store actually has a nice chunk of those things for $1. And you could be spending an arm and a leg, going to a grocery store and doing that same thing. Now, the only thing that I think out of all the toiletries slash cleaning solutions slash cleaning supplies that is not really the same quality, that the qualities don't equate, is the laundry detergent. But in my opinion, it's still, I mean, you're still, for the quality that you're getting and getting it for $1, I mean, it's still better than getting it for like $13 at a Meijer or a Walmart or whatever. My point is that like all your stuff that you could get that has to do with like bathrooms and like toiletries and washables and like when you're getting yourself ready, that stuff is going to be a whole lot cheaper at the dollar store, unless like you're this person who wants like special quality things. Like it's a lot cheaper at the dollar store, and you will save a lot of money, because you could find yourself scanning all these items when you get to the checkout, and it's like, oh, I spent money on laundry detergent, and it was again like $13. I spent money on toilet paper, and it was like $10. I spent money on paper towel, and that was like $8 or $7. And all that money is going to add up when you can get like tons of these things at the dollar store and not spend nearly that much. So again, keep that in mind, that you just may have to just take that plunge and make that second trip out to the dollar store or out to your convenience store, where they actually have specials on those things, and you can get them for pretty good deals, and you're not really, hurting your pockets too much like you would be if you were going to a Walmart or a Meijer or something like that to get your stuff, because that will add up, and sometimes that is what's taking a huge chunk out of your money. So let's talk about the next one, and here's the final point that I kind of wanted to make here for you guys. So and this is a big one: eat before you leave. And the reason why I make this point as the 6th hack is because a lot of times if you go hungry, and I know I've done this myself, if you go there and you're hungry, you're gonna have a tendency to see stuff that looks good that you can eat, at that moment, and you'll buy it. Like, I know good and well, if I go to a grocery store and I'm hungry and I see a rotisserie chicken, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I'm going to take that rotisserie chicken home and I'm going to eat it as soon as I get home. Or you ever go to that little deli section? They always have like little sandwiches that like will say stuff like, in 2 days you got to eat this, or like, expires in 2 days, or like you see the pizzas that are like, oh yeah, 2 days, 1 day or whatever, like you have to eat this or it's going to expire. Like in that section, I find myself doing a lot of looking over there. Now mind you, like those items can like be very beneficial if you need something quick and simple. Like don't go there if you're hungry, because you will buy that stuff up and you're going to start eating every single thing that you see as soon as you get home. So that's going to be extra money that you do not need to spend, especially if you have a certain budget, especially if you have a certain amount of money that you plan on using, and you don't need to spend all that. So just keep that in mind as well too, because you'll have a tendency to what I call hunger buy. And when you hunger buy, you're buying based off of what your stomach tells you, not what your mind tells you. So you don't want to do that, because you will end up spending a pretty penny, So, or I just think that whenever you go into a grocery store, like you should have the mindset that you're buying for the month, like you're buying like food that's going to last you for a while. You shouldn't have the mindset that you're buying and then you're going to eat some of the stuff like as soon as you get to the crib. Like you just shouldn't have a mindset like that. But anyways, those were 6 simple hacks to think about saving money with groceries. I want to give you a few more here, because I know a lot of you are thinking, oh wow, I thought it was going to be something so much deeper. But no, it's just that simple. That's really how you can save a lot of money. And I think on average, like if you do a lot of these things, you can save a pretty penny. Like you can save a good like $80 from like just not doing silly things. So here's a couple different other hacks that you can kind of do. I won't go into detail. I'll just kind of throw them out there to you, so something to kind of tangle with and something for you to think about. So again, these are just quick tips. So first of all, when you're shopping for vegetables and mushrooms, try ethnic food stores, because they tend to be a lot cheaper. From actually what I understand, they're about 40% cheaper. So like you can buy mushrooms for like almost like cents, almost. And if you're in an area where like produce is more expensive, it'll probably be more expensive. But like being in Michigan, it will be very cheap to get mushrooms. It'll be very cheap to get vegetables or anything like that. So that's one thing. If you're gonna buy like seafood, buy it frozen. Don't buy it fresh, because it's gonna be more expensive fresh. And they do the whole thing where they weigh stuff out, and then like it costs per pound or per whatever. So buy it frozen, because you're gonna get more of it, and all you have to do is unthaw it and keep it going. So that's another thing. Don't purchase bottled water. I mentioned this earlier. If you have a filter, if you invested in a filter, then just use that if you want some purified water, because buying bottled water is very useless. The only time I actually see it as something that is important is when like you're going on a road trip, or you're in your car for a long time and you're in an area that's really hot. That's the only time I really see it as as a time where you need it. When you go, okay, here's another one, and this is a grocery hack that will save you some money. When you go to restaurants, get packets of the sauces that you want. So like, don't pick up bottles of ketchup, like a big old bottle of Heinz ketchup or a big old bottle of mustard. You want to get packets. I don't know what that was on my phone, but anyway, you want to get like packets of mustard, packets of hot sauce, packets of ketchup, packets of whatever you need. That way you're not spending so much money on condiments all the time, because sometimes that will run you a pretty penny as well too. Whereas you can go into a restaurant, you can get those things for free, like as long as like you're just picking up a bunch of them, because nobody's sitting there monitoring you saying, hey, you can't have that, you can't have all that sauce. The only place that I've seen that even happen is McDonald's, and that's if you and like usually that what happens is like the workers will usually cop some attitudes because like you're asking for too much sweet and sour or barbecue. So I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like you go into a store or a restaurant, like I don't know, for example, like a Chick-fil-A, and then you see a bunch of like ketchups there. You can just grab a bunch of ketchups, a bunch of mustards as well too. So just giving you that like quick advice. If you don't want to do that, I understand, but it will save you a little bit of money as well. Another thing is like have a set time when you plan to be done with your trip. So like stick to the plan. So you have to just stay focused, because if you don't, you'll stay in that store for a long time and you'll lose out on time and you'll lose out on money because you're still looking for food. So if you're looking for food, you're going to spend money, and then while you're looking, you're still losing time, so you're losing money doubly. So that's another thing to think about. Growing your own vegetables. Now a lot of people like really aren't really hip to this, but there are like some vegetables where you can actually like plant them, and like we'll cut them off at like, I don't know if it's the roots or the tips. I'm not exactly sure, and I'll get back to you on this one for sure. But there's some vegetables I believe it's like basil, and you can cut them like at the tips, and then like put them in a potted plant, and then water them, and then as they over time they can grow, and then you can keep cutting them and you can keep eating them as if like they're regular like vegetable that you bought from the store. So that's just another thing to kind of think about. And then you just catch deals at convenience stores, because the convenience stores have a lot of items that grocery stores won't have for like the same price. So that's just something else to kind of keep in mind. But I'm telling you, if you do all these things and like you have this method and this set plan every single time you go to the grocery store, you could end up easily saving about $80. You really could, because like if you're getting a bunch of items again and you're getting the store brand versus the name brand, you could be saving about $40. Then you got like all these coupons that could be saving you $5 here or $10 here or whatever it is. Then you have like all these like toiletries that you thought you were going to buy at the grocery store, and then you don't end up buying them. Like you buy them at the dollar store instead, and you save like $20 there. Like again, like if you got $40, $20, $10, that's $70 right there. And then you do some of these other little hacks, like you watch out for the vegetables and get those pretty cheap, and watch out for the seafood and all that. You get close to 80. So you could be pocketing $80. You could use that towards bills. You could invest it. You could put it towards your business if you're a businessman or woman, and or you can do something constructive with it. But anyways, I just wanted to give you all this video so that you all could kind of see a different perspective of hustling. I don't want you to always think of hustling as I have to go get money. Sometimes hustling comes in the most creative but the most simple ways. Simple in the fact of how they're done, but creative in the fact that sometimes it's not just by making money. Sometimes it's in your everyday habits and the things that you have to do regularly. So just keep that in mind, and think about that, and try to implement it the next time you go grocery shopping, because it's grocery, so you will go grocery shopping. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys continue to tune in. If you guys like what you saw today, please subscribe to The Hustler's Perspective. If you want to see more news on the latest and greatest details of how to keep hustling, how to save money, how to earn money, feel free to check out the blog, thehustlersjackpot.com. If you would like to follow me on my Facebook page, then follow me at The Hustler's Perspective. And that's for my actual YouTube videos, The Hustler's Perspective YouTube channel. If you would like to follow me on my actual blog page on Facebook, then you can search me at The Hustler's Jackpot. Now, if you would like to follow me on my business page on my Instagram, then you can follow me at The Hustler's Jackpot. And if you would like to follow me on my personal page on Instagram, you can follow me at Cool Colas. I hope you guys are having a great day once again. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys subscribe and continue to tune into what I have to say to you all, because there will be a lot to come. So with that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Keep hustling.